you guys are all doing great. I'm trying to escape from the roosters outside because they're croaking like mad today, and I'm getting angry with husband's roosters. So I've been getting a lot of thumbs down, and I'm sure it's to blame. The roosters are to blame. So I'm just kidding. So let's go ahead and share with you guys my current project, and I'm so in love, guys. It's so beautiful, very shabby, very vintage at the same time also. And I've created it will be for sale, so if anybody's interested in it, let me know also. I would like to sell things before I list them in my Etsy shop if possible, to avoid a lot of fees. So if you see it and you like it, always just let me know before I list it in my Etsy shop. It's a 3 teapot banner which I have created, and I have used 2 pieces of fabric, and in between the 2 pieces of fabric I have sandwiched some batting, or we call it wadding here in Australia, you guys call it batting, in between, so it gives it a slightly padded look and helps to form the shape of the banners also. So like I mentioned, there's 3 teapots all joined together, and it is mobile, like you can flex it in any position that you like, across, you know, like your wall, or on top of your door, anywhere you like to, you know, stream it across. It's so beautiful, very shabby. And let's go ahead into more details. Like I mentioned, it is just a little bit over a meter across, with the 3 of them attached together, and it consists of 3 banners, all beautifully finished in these beautiful images that I have used before for my Little Miss fabric journal. But I am so in love with these images, I had to use them again. The colors blend with anything so beautifully, and I had so much fun creating this particular banner. So let's start with this particular one here. So once I've cut out my shapes, the teapot shape, I sewed around it on my sewing machine, and then I had used this particular gimp trim on the side here all the way around, and then I had adhered the image using some batting in the background also to help pad it up. And then I just went to town with all the beautiful embellishments, as you guys can see here. Just grab all your bits and bobs, all your loose, you know, stuff that you have used for other projects. I always keep a box with all my loose pieces, and then I just, you know, use them and find bits here and there and just add it all on, and it just comes together really lovely. And down here I've just ruffled some lace, glued it all across here. There's 3 layers of lace underneath here, and I used this beautiful piece of flower applique that I had from my stash, that I had avocado dye, which is this particular piece here, and then it became this beautiful dusty pink color. This is my latest avocado dye, and the color is just so gorgeous, guys, as you guys can see there. Really beautiful. So I've used that for this particular banner, as well as the 3rd banner. The middle one is slightly different, just to, you know, interchange the whole look of the banner. And this particular trim here I have in my stash, and it looks like, oops, sorry, just on the bottom of my tripod, and it looks like this. I can't exactly remember where I purchased it from, maybe from my local craft shop. It is textured, like kind of like rough looking, but I had chopped this particular piece up, this particular one here, cut it from the whole, you know, the ribbon, and then chopped it in half again. And I used 4 pieces, glued that on at the back of this particular flower, and that forms this particular look here. So really nice and beautiful. So that's how I have created that. And this particular piece here, I formed the bow first, and then cut out this particular piece to form the bow in the center there also. So I just used whatever that was in my stash. This particular gimp trim was just white, and our avocado dyed it, and it became this beautiful dusty pink color. So white is a good basis color, and then you can dye it from there, and yeah, create any color you want. So in this particular one here is cream to alternate with the avocado dye, so it's not too, you know, too pink. And this particular one has more creams than your avocado dye. This is my little angel. She's so beautiful. Like, I love this particular image so much. It makes everything turn out so beautiful. So that's my favorite image. I used some bling bling from my stash and some tassel dangles down the bottom. Oop, forgot to share the dangles on this particular one. Some tassels, as well as some long fringe. I used the bling from my stash that I have, that just come in a bag like this. with some silver ones and some pearly ones, but the silver ones came out, they look much more nicer. So as you guys can see there, so that's that one. And then we have here just a flower applique that I have in my stash, and I just avocado dye that. Gives it a beautiful dusty pink color. The bow, this has been avocado dye also. So when I do avocado dye, I dye like a whole batch of mixed pieces, so that when I do have work, like when I do work on a project, I have them all handy. Like these particular ones here that I have been using on my desk here, these are all avocado dye, and I've just, you know, put them on some card like this and have them handy for when I'm creating my project, so I can just use them. And yeah, they're just all over my desk here. So added appliques, some ruffle trim at the top here, and just went to town with like lots of different embellishments and wedding appliques again. So this is the third banner. I did this exactly the same as the other one, ruffle some laces. That's the image in this particular one. Really lovely. Framed her with some lovely wedding appliques. Added this beautiful loop trim that I have in my stash, which is this particular one here that I have avocado dyed also. Really beautiful, and because it was really wide, I had chopped this particular part off and just used these particular parts here to go around my image. So really lovely. So that's how I framed her, and I just used some more appliques and then this beautiful flower applique on top. So applique over applique. Dangle some more dangles down here. This piece here came off this particular applique up here, like the lace applique, which is this particular part here, and I just chopped bits and pieces and all that. See, I chopped that, and I chopped these, and I chopped this little piece of flower here also that I have incorporated into numerous parts of my banner, like here, to hide the ties. Am I making everybody go crazy? To hide the ties, I've used that here, and then to hide where I've hand stitched the two pieces of teapot together, I've glued that on there also. And the back, this particular trim hides it pretty well, so I didn't need to put anything else on the back there. So I added a pearl in the center, a flat back pearl, so it gave it a beautiful finish. So really lovely. And I'll show you guys the back of the banner. It's really hot here today, so I'm kind of like starting to sweat in my craft room. I'm going to take my hoodie off. Yesterday was cold and cloudy, and then today it is hot, especially in my craft room. It doesn't have a lot of ventilation in here. So that's just the back of it. That's the base fabric that I started with, and then I went around it with this particular trim from my stash, just to finish the back off, so it's nicely finished for you. And here's the back of the ties to hide the ties where I have stitched them down, and I glued the flower on top. So that is my particular banner, and I will share with you guys after this how it looks like once it's hung up also. So yeah, it's so beautiful, and I hope you guys like it, because I enjoyed making it so much. And I've always wanted to make a mini album also with the teapot theme, so I might do that soon. I have created a teapot mini album maybe 2 or 3 years ago, but it's just made out of chipboard, and that particular album is now with Janelle. I sent it to Janelle a few years ago actually now, and it is Marie Antoinette teapot fabric journal, so I really do miss it. So how are you, Janelle? Hope you're well. So that's the teapot banner, and I've got 2 more little projects to share with you guys. I didn't have any plans on making any Christmas ornaments at all, but Michelle, I've spoken to Michelle, and she we had a little chat, and she was asking me about Christmas ornaments, and she wanted me to make a teapot Christmas ornament. So here is the teapot Christmas ornament that I have made. So I have printed out the image of one of the teapots that I have used in a very small size. As you guys can see there, it fits just in the palm of my hand, and it's so stinky cute. It's like the cutest little stinky teapot that I've ever seen or I've ever come across, and it's so adorable. And again, I had to use my favorite image in the center there because she is so adorable. How many times can I praise this little image here? So very beautiful. I cut out my 2 pieces of my teapot. I backed it with batting also in between the two pieces, and then I left the space down the bottom here that I didn't stitch, and then I stuffed it in these little bits and pieces and in the spout also, so it gives it a lot of dimension and texture because it's nicely finished and very, very firm. And then I had chosen this particular image that I had printed out, and then I had snipped it so it's nice and round, and then I went around it with this particular trim that I love. I love this particular gimp trim. It's so, so beautiful. So I put that around there and around the whole teapot as well as at the back, so it's nicely finished. And in the middle here, around where the handle is, I've used this avocado trim from my stash also. Added some beautiful wedding applique, some beautiful dangles down the bottom here. That's avocado dye. All the lace trims are all avocado dye. This seam binding here, guys, white is a beautiful seam binding color to have. If you don't need 10 different colors. You just need white color seam binding. Get it in like a 100-meter roll, and then buy some Lindy sprays or any inks or any dyes, and just go to town and dye heaps and heaps of color. You don't need all the colors of seam binding. White is the color that I reach towards most. Then my pinks, I've got two pinks, a light pink, like a dusty pink. I've got a dusty green, and I've brought numerous different colors here and there, but the color that I reach to the most is just white seam binding. And you can just color it with any homemade sprays that you have, or Lindy's or anything like that, and it just comes up really nice. And this is like a quick one that I have just made and I've crinkled up. So once you get your white seam binding, just spray within whatever spray that you have. And I just quickly sprayed it with, let me just grab it. This particular spray here that I've made myself with some pink, I think it's called powder pink dye, very lightly diluted. It looks like it's very strong in the bottle, but once you dye it, spray onto your lace, it is beautiful. You can adjust the strength of it by adding more dye or less dye, and I've had it here for a little while, and every time I want a baby pink color, I just spray this on, and then I scrunch it all up so that it distributes the color evenly throughout the seam binding. And then when I crinkle it up into a bundle like that in my hand, and then I heat set it. I leave it on my desk, and then I heat set it, and then I shake it about again, and I wrinkle it up like that again, and I heat set it again until it's really dry, and it gives you this beautiful crinkle look. And that is a beautiful baby pink color. So white is what I will recommend if you're not sure what color seam binding to start off with. 100 yards of white, and you can get that on ebay.com. It's a Hug Snug brand. It's really good. So that's what I have used up here as my tie, and my little bow here also, on both sides. No, just one little bow on this side. On the other side, I've just added a ribbon flower on the other side there just to finish the back off, and this can be hung up as a Christmas ornament like that. Really cute on anywhere. It doesn't have to be a Christmas ornament. It's just like a really beautiful shabby chic ornament to have pretty much in your craft room, in your home, anywhere. So really shabby and really, really beautiful. I love it. So thank you for asking me to make that, because I really enjoyed it, Michelle, and it's so beautiful. And the other item that I just printed out, I was googling some teapot pen templates, and I just happened to Google reindeer also. But no, I didn't Google reindeer. This came on Pinterest. So I was able to print this particular pattern out. I don't have it here on my counter. The teapot one I do have. Ta-da! That is the teapot one. I kind of torn it. So that was what I use for that. So to get this particular teapot, I might make one slightly bigger. I'm not sure. Let me just grab my other teapot so you can compare the size. Sorry, I'm not prepared. So here is the regular size teapots that Margaret and I have been making, and that is the size of that particular one. So really, really, really cute, little cutie pie. And this particular flower here is the one that I've shared with you guys on when I was sharing my box, as well as I think it's just a video before this particular one. where I shared with you guys how to alter a flower using Copic colors and my homemade vintage photo spray with water to spray it so that it gives you this beautiful vintage sort of look. And as you guys can see, it works so beautifully on this particular project because it has a hint of the peach and the pink here in the background also. So that's how you can coordinate your colors, and it just came out so beautifully. So even though I wasn't prepared to use it on this particular project, I already had the flower that I altered the other day, and it just went beautifully with this particular project. So that's a teapot, and then this is the reindeer like I was saying, and I just went somewhere else. So I cut out the template, I put batting in between, but I left a bit of room down the bottom here, and I stuffed it with some wadding or some doll stuffing or toy stuffing. I stuffed it in the headpiece, as well as this particular part here and the body. I didn't do much in the leg because it's very skinny, you can't get into there very much. So as you can see, that's the size of it. So it's a very, very tiny size, but a good size for a beautiful little ornament there. And I went around with that particular trim, this particular trim that I had in my stash, and then I used my homemade spray, and I sprayed some more seam binding and tied in a bow, added this little beautiful pink cabochon flower here, added some more appliques at the top here just to hide the seam binding where I had glued it down. Just acts like a little crown also there, and the beautiful reindeer, is it antennas? Ooh, sorry, I don't know my reindeer body parts, sorry. And both sides is finished really lovely, really nice, and I used some pearls to form the eyes on that side, and this side on here I've used a flat back pearl instead of the cabochon flower in the middle there. So those are my projects that I have to share with you guys today. So the banner is for sale, so if anybody's interested in the banner, please do let me know, and watch after the vid here, this particular one where I show you guys how I hang up the banner. So keep watching, and I'll be back with you guys to share my flea market findings for today. So I scored a little bit. I'll be right back, so I'll see you guys soon. Okay guys, here is just an example, excuse the roosters, of how the banner looks like when you hang it up. It's about just a little bit over a meter across on either side, and it includes 3 banners as you can see here, and the ties on the side here are created with 2 pieces of lace, so you can extend it out to however long you wanted on that side as well as on this particular side here. So it's beautifully finished, as you guys can see here. Really, really lovely. So it looks so beautiful in anybody's room. So yeah, I'll go